I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window.
And today we're talking with Darryl LeBlanc. And Darryl's spent the last 25 years of his working life with the credit union. He's been involved in a variety of different volunteer organizations or volunteer positions over the years. He's been the president, or still is the president, sorry, of the West Pubnico Golf Club, former president of the Canadian National 35 and over baseball championships, former treasurer of the 2017 Canadian Mixed Curling Championships. It doesn't seem like that was 4 years ago. And currently president of Seafest. Welcome, Darryl.
Welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here, guys.
Now, Seafest is, certainly one of the longest running festivals. That it's like in its 42nd year or something along that line. But over the years it's evolved, and certainly COVID pulled the rug out of almost everything last year. But you still managed to put on some events with social distancing and with some virtual events happening and so on. This year, it looks like things are going to loosen up a bit. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like things are loosening up a bit.
Yeah.
But how have you managed to pivot? Like, what happened in 2019 for you guys? Give you a chance to maybe dissect things a little bit and make some changes?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get into 2019, let's go back to what CFest used to be. CFest was always a 10-day, 2-week event that took place here in Yarmouth. It was a big event. It brought loads of people out to the area, and people actually looked forward to what was happening with CFest. Obviously, like anything, things change over time, and certain things maybe lose interest or something to that aspect. Prior to 2020, I guess, with COVID, we sort of found that with CFest. CFest was the days were starting to become less and less, and to the point of where in 2019 we were down to a 4-day event. What COVID did for CFest actually in 2020 was somewhat of a bit of a blessing in disguise. With the shutdown in 2020, we had to make the decision, do we cancel CFest or do we continue with it? We were concerned that if we canceled CFest, would we be able to get CFest back again? And so with and hats off, I'll tell you right now, to Dave Warner and the committee from CFest last year, because they did a fantastic job of saying, no, let's make this happen. Let's do it. Let's see what we can do. With the restrictions, we moved to some online events. We moved to some streaming events. We did hold a few events in person where we could practice social distancing and make it work. And we took what was a 4-day event previously and we brought it over actually a 5-week period over the summer. What that showed us, it was actually very successful. What we learned was, okay, one, we don't have to have 10 or 12 events a day. We don't have to have 3 or 4 events during the same time period overlapping. And we don't have to have in-person events all the time. We can actually put events where people can do from the comfort of their home, or they could take an event that they have a week to be able to do it and then submit their pictures or submit their video or something to that effect. We also have events where people can come and participate in person. And so a mixture of that had really helped create a successful event last year for 2020, which obviously then leads us into, at the end of that, what were we going to do for 2021? So with 2021, at the end of last year, at the end of 2020, we got together as a group and we were very pleased with the results of what took place. And so we decided, okay, how do we get CFest back to what it was or what it can be again? And so the committee started right away. One, we decided to rebrand. We absolutely felt that, we needed to come out with a new logo, new website that was more friendlier and provided more information. And we needed to get the word out in the community in regards to that. Number two, we decided at that point, what type of events can we continue offering online? Even if we did not have COVID restrictions, we felt that it was really important to become interactive and to be able to take some of these events and put them back online and keep them going. And that way that still allowed people to do their events or to participate either from the comfort of their home or from another location.
Well, certainly, with the virtual events, it would also give an opportunity for people from away, or that have moved away to also participate too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that was some of the things that we had seen. We actually had people that were participating from outside of the country. So
Nice.
some of the things that we did was a photo contest, and that became a very popular thing. We had a lot of submissions to that. The other thing that we did was, for example, a Nookshuk building contest. We also had a Paint It Rock contest. And so we've incorporated those again this year to ensure that, that those events will still become popular and people will still be able to participate with those events.
It obviously the committee over the current committee and over the years has sort of watched how people enjoy themselves when they're out with recreational activity. I talk about the painted rocks that's incorporated into this year's Seafest, the Inukshuk building, because we've seen people over the years go out and build their own little Inukshuks. The festival, as you said, Darryl, has been running since 1979. That's a year after I graduated high school, so that's a long time ago. It's one of the longest running community festivals in the country, certainly in Atlantic Canada. Can we attribute that to the fact that the committees, past and present, are able to adapt, particularly in the last couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have had some fantastic representatives on Seafest and very dedicated individuals in groups. There's no lie when I say this is not something that you can just throw together. This takes a lot of work. It's year-long planning and work to get to where we're at, and then when it's over, we start all over again for next year. So unlike maybe some of the other events, maybe that if I can speak personally. Like, for example, when I was involved with the Canadian National Baseball Championships, once that was done, it was done. And, you moved on and maybe, 6 years down the road, you did it again or something to that effect. But with Seafest now, this is a yearly event and this takes place each year. So every year, as soon as we're finished, we get back to work again and start and plan for the following year. That takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of commitment. And hats off to every single person that has ever volunteered for Seafest and helped to create what we currently have.
That's a big stress, is volunteers. You can't do it without them.
No, absolutely. It's this job it's too big for one person. It takes a group. It takes dedicated individuals, and it's really, really important that when these guys, these folks, ladies and gentlemen, when they commit to this, they put their heart and soul into it, and I will tell you right now, I am extremely lucky to have the group that I have working here with the Seafest organization. They are long-term experienced people that have been doing this. They know what to do, and they make my job very, very easy.
Now, when you think of Seafest as a spectator, I guess, for lack of a better word, there's some what's what I'm looking for? There are some key events that you expect to see every year. So what are we getting back this year that people would have been used to seeing?
Sure. So obviously the mackerel toss is that's always been going on. In the mackerel
That's a
toss,
fun
we
event.
actually were. It is, and we were actually able to do that last year with social distancing.
Well, you got to
And
huck it
so
over 6 feet. So yes, sure, why not?
that's
I don't
it,
think the
right?
fish
Absolutely.
cares.
Not at all. And so we were very fortunate to be able to do that last year. And so that's one of the staples. We're doing that. What we're able to bring back this year, and this in conjunction with the classic car guys, we are going to have a classic car cruise on Saturday,
Nice.
July 17th at 6 p.m. That's all confirmed, and they couldn't put on the classic car show this year for the second year in a row, but we're able now to implement that parade at least to be able to have that car cruise come down. One of the other things that was sort of dying out is because we could not get teams involved was the rum running. But we're looking to do something with rum running this year again. We're looking for a Saturday night on the 24th, and we're looking at putting a demonstration on. And so we're going to have a rum running team to do a demonstration. And one of the things that we are bringing down for that weekend as well, which is, and obviously the next day is the Kids' Day, but we're bringing down the Pirates of Halifax are coming back down, and so they will be
Nice.
they will be here. They will be here that weekend of the 24th and the 25th to help us out with those days.
They are a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of the things that we haven't had for a while, and I'll touch on them. Because I actually got asked this question yesterday, and that was in regards to the pageant. CFest made a decision a few years back. Pageants were not becoming popular for obvious reasons. And CFest made the decision a few years back to eliminate pageants. And so we would still love to have a CFest princess or CFest queen to help out during that. And so this is something maybe we will look at for down the road in the few years to come. I don't think we will ever get back to the pageant side of things, but again, we may, but we might be able to find a way or to do something in regards to having that. The other thing is the parade. People are still, with floats and everything else, and obviously, again, we haven't been able to do a parade for the last few years, and again, for obvious reasons. But I think on our radar for hopefully it is something that we would like to get back to. Not saying it's going to happen next year, but I believe it's on our long-term plans to try to get, a parade of some sort taking place during Seafest.
Yeah, I'm sure the Shriners would love to be able to join in.
Absolutely, along with quite a few others as well.
Yeah, they don't get the little cars out as much as what they used to.
No, they don't. I
For
really, at this point, I have to commend yourself and the committee for being so prudent in making these various decisions. I think that speaks a lot to the committee, that you're not just, jumping in, no, we're not going to do this, or yes, we're going to do that this year or next year. So I think that's very commendable, Darryl. I have to say that.
Well, thank you. And again, and what our goal is to bring Seafest back to at least a 10 to 12 or 14-day event, and again, and bring back to make sure that it's a success and that it is going to last for at least another 42 years. So we want to make sure that what we do it right. We want to make sure that we get people out and enjoy themselves. Excuse me, and that's really important to the committee.
Any new events this year?
Well, let's see. In regards to new event, we do. We actually have a kite flying competition for 3 days. Each day is a different competition. That's going to be taking place on the 18th, the 23rd, and the 24th. For those that you don't have to have a kite, sort of, if you have your own kite to compete, that's really important. But you can come out and actually try out kites and fly a kite for a little bit and see how it is and that. But I think that people are really going to enjoy this event. It's going to be a great spectator event, and apparently there is quite a following in regards to it. So we're really looking forward to that. The other thing we have, we're going to be doing a geocaching event this year, and that's in the works of putting together. We have actually 2 scavenger hunts this year. And so we have one, which is going to be a children's scavenger hunt, which will be taking place during a Saturday, I think, on the maybe the 24th. But the week of the 26th to the 31st, we have an online scavenger hunt, and this is where we have moved into technology. We actually have going to use an app, so the people that register will download an app, and the questions will be on the app that they will have to go complete, and then each day an additional 10 questions or so will get added to that.
Wow.
And so they can go and do this though at their own time, so it's not a time frame that they need to do. So throughout the whole week they're able to complete so many questions as they do it, and then it gets automatically, they submit it at the end of it, and then we look at who the winners are going to be. So we're using technology that's there, and taking events that would maybe sometimes pose a risk to social distancing to try to eliminate that side of it for the time being. Because again, when we started organizing these things, we didn't know what type of regulations we were going to be under. And so we had to really plan to ensure that whatever we do, we were able to, hopefully put on something that was going to work. And so with that, I'll put a caveat out there. We're running from July 14th to July 31st. Some of these events might change slightly. Some days might change. But what I can assure you is there is going to be something for people to do every day from Wednesday, July 14th to Saturday, July 31st.
Nice. And it's good to spread it out. And you're quite right. I mean, there's no need to have a dozen events a day and everybody be, totally wagged out by the time you hit the end of it. Especially if July is anything like it has been in the past, where it's 25, 30, 35 degrees with the humidity. Nobody wants to be dragging their butts around to 10, 12 events.
No, and that's it exactly. And what we've noticed is, again, people are busy. Life is busy, and so they have, everybody has a lot of things to do, and so they might not be able to commit a day where we have 12 events. They might have something else going on, and then they miss the whole thing. So this way here, it gives them the opportunity to work around their schedule to be able to come and attend some of this stuff.
Are you actively recruiting volunteers?
Actually, we are not right now. However, I'm not saying that that's not going to change. I actually have by the time this gets broadcast, we may be, and what I would suggest to people is to check our website. If we are going to require volunteers, we will put that out on our website and start looking for that. The great thing that I must say about our committee is we do have quite a few on the committee and that have committed to work in this, and we also have some summer students.
That's great.
I think we feel right now that we probably are in an okay situation, but let me put it this way: I would never ever turn away a volunteer.
Sure.
And if I have somebody that wants to, if I have somebody that wants to volunteer and help out, we will absolutely take them on and certainly find something for them to do.
Well, this is going to be airing on July the 9th, so if anybody's listening right now, it is July the 9th.
Perfect.
So what can we expect on the first day, on the 14th?
Yeah, okay. So on the first day, we it's sort of like a soft opening. We'll put out a few of our online contests, our Inukshuk contest, and our children's maybe a possible children's photo parade, but we're working on that right now. That might change. We have Synergy taking place at 10 a.m. in the morning. And then in the evening, we have entertainment down on the waterfront. All entertainment is going to be running out of the coal shed this year. We will be limited to the amount of people that we can sit out there, but it is going to be live entertainment. So we have Phil DeMille actually performing the first night on Wednesday the 14th.
Wow, that's great stuff.
Yeah. And just to take it into like Saturday, the night of the car cruise there, we've got a comedy show, Catch 22, from 7 to 8, and then we got Tide and Timber playing on the waterfront from 8 to 10 at the coal shed.
Nice.
So, yeah.
No, musical entertainment is a key component. The sea shanties are in there somewhere too, aren't they?
They are. We have them listed, I believe, for the first day as well, and they'll be doing the opening. Right now, I am working with having an opening ceremonies and having a few words from myself and Mayor Mood and hopefully some of the local MLAs as well.
Will you be live streaming any of this?
Actually, a lot of this stuff is going to get live streamed. So we're breaking down right now on what we're going to live stream. There's obviously some events we're not going to live stream, but we will record and then
Gotcha.
play at a later time. And the reason for that is that we also want to, for certain events, we do want the people to come out and
Sure.
be able to come down to the area and view this as well.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. Darryl, I really like the theme for this year's Seafest, Come Home to the Seashore. I think it's very apropos for the particular circumstances that have occurred over the last year or so. Can you talk about how you came up with that theme?
Yeah, absolutely. And that actually came up right last, probably it was either late August or last September, early into this. We were just coming out of COVID and we were looking at what's our theme going to be for next year. And so we were sort of trying to be optimistic that COVID would be done with and that travel restrictions would be done with and that people would want to get out and come back home. So we said, you know what, we need to try to work with something with that. And so the group came up with, we threw some different ideas out there. And at the end of the day, it was, come home to the seashore. And that's what it's really about is we want people to come back to Yarmouth or to travel to Yarmouth, or even if you're just out of town or even in town, come on down to the seashore, come on down to the area and get back out and, hopefully we'll be able to socialize.
For somebody that might be new to the area, how do you describe what Seafest means to our area?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're a seafaring area. Everybody is has some type of connection to the sea, and so our economy depends on it. Our livelihood, it's in our blood, as they say, and so to be able to reflect back on what the sea means to the area and celebrate it in some way, I think is really important. And this allows us to be able to say thanks again as well to everybody that is in the area and that contributes to the area and makes the area what it is.
How does the festival get funded? Do you get money from the government as well as corporate sponsor?
Yeah, we do. Actually, and again, we do receive some government funding through Heritage Canada. We receive grants for our students to be able to hire them to help with the work that's required there. But we also rely on donations and also sponsorship. And so, we have some businesses that have been longtime sponsors of us, and they contribute. Now, indicating that, one of the things that we looked at this year, we understand that businesses have really suffered because of COVID, and so we put out our sponsorship packages. We sent them to all the businesses. But we're not going to be going out and banging on a lot of doors asking, for people to sponsor. And what we feel is that, there's a lot of businesses that have struggled and they may not be in the position this year to be able to help out. So we're going to try to do what we can with what we have. And if there is businesses out there that do want to sponsor or help us, we will be more than happy to work with them, either, to receive the sponsorship in cash or in kind, right? So maybe they can, provide us with a product or something that we can use that, and we'll be more than happy to promote their businesses in that regard. The whole idea this year especially is we want to try to get back to some type of normalcy. We like to have people come down to the downtown area, and not just the downtown area, but come into Yarmouth or even in the Yarmouth area. And, a lot of these small local businesses have struggled, and they are really going to require all of us to be able to come out and support them so that they can get through this year and survive.
And that's the big key. I mean, support local. They're
Yeah,
the,
absolutely.
they're the same people that you're going to come knocking on the door to support your kids' baseball team or hockey team or whatever. Time to return the favor.
That's it exactly, and that's it, and that's sort of how we thought about it this year.
And I know, Darryl, that you folks have a great support from the general public. You know, I've seen comments over the years. I've talked to so many people over the years. And most recently, you know, as the Seafest Committee has made its updated announcements, such positive comments, and, and, and that's so important. It must be so important to you and the other committee members to know that you have the support of the community behind you. Folks are looking forward to this and understanding why things might be a wee bit different this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when we start planning things, I mean, one thing I've learned over all my time of doing this type of stuff, you're not going to please everybody. There are going to be some people that might not be happy with the way things are, but all we can do is, you know, our hands are tied. All we can do is plan for the best and you know, and then hope that things work out. You know, there's two things that we can't control. One is we can put on the events, we can put on the best show that we possibly can. We can't control if people come out to watch it or not. And the second thing that we can't control is Mother Nature. And, you know, normally Mother Nature wins. And so, you know, what we do know, though, is seeing the buzz, especially since we've launched our new website and our new Facebook page and we rebrand it with our new logos, we are getting a tremendous amount of support from the area. And I think that's a combination of two things. One, our rebranding and the focus that we're doing, and also the fact that people have been cooped up for the last year or so with COVID, and they're really looking forward to something like this to be able to get out and enjoy themselves again. But you're absolutely right, Gary. The tremendous support from the local community in regards to what we're doing, and again, you know, if any of you do see the volunteers or the people out there of the committee that's doing this, you know, say thank you to them because they have put a lot of time and effort in to try to make this happen.
And again, you know, just to give you a little bit of a stage at the end here, if you had an opportunity to address your volunteers, what would you say publicly?
Oh, listen, you know what? I wholeheartly thank them all for what they have done. I could not be sitting where I am right now with this organization or doing this without those guys because they are experienced, they're knowledgeable, they put the time in and they make it happen. And again, and all I need to do is, you know, I put the agenda together and I say, okay, what are we going to do? And we hash it out, and those guys put it all together and make it work. And you know, it's I you know, for people that have not volunteered or people that haven't done these things, the amount of work that goes in preparing this behind the scenes, you know, it would really shock a lot of people. So, you know, again, for those that really enjoy this and look forward to this, certainly, you know, when you see this committee and these volunteers out there and the students, you know, certainly thank them because it's well deserved.
Well, on behalf of Quinn, I thank you and the volunteers. This is great news. Seafest, July 14th to 31st here in Yarmouth, a celebration of Yarmouth's seafaring heritage. Going to be great fun. You know, it's been going on again, and I think it's important to mention since 1979. We've been speaking with Darryl LeBlanc, president of the Seafest Committee. Darryl, thanks again so much.
Thank you, guys. Really greatly appreciate you having me here today.
I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And you've been listening to Outside My Window.